Well, good evening and welcome back. Delmarva, Maryland State Police investigating the death of a woman in Parsonsburg as a homicide. WMDT's Chris Brunk has the details.
Around 9 p.m. last night, Maryland State Police responded to a 911 call reporting an assault. Troopers arrived at a home on the 32,000 block of Long Ridge Road in Parsonsburg. On scene, they made contact with 45-year-old Jonah Brooke Kramer, who they identified as the suspect in the apparent murder. Searching the property, police found the body of a woman partially submerged in a shallow grave behind the home. The identity of the victim, along with cause and manner of death, have not been released pending autopsy results. Police say that a motive in the killing has not yet been identified. Residents were shocked by the news. Tony Brown, who lives right down the road, says he's never seen anything like this before.
Craziness. It's weird, because like I just said, it's something that you don't normally see, a bunch of forensic and cop cars. It's really weird.
Brown says he regularly passes by the location and never sees anything out of the ordinary.
And it's usually a quiet place. You know, everybody around here pretty much, they see each other, wave or whatever, but that's about it.
You never really know where something like this might happen, and that can be cause for concern for some. Like Lola Kirk, who says she's always cautious.
I'm always observant of my surroundings, even in the nicest places. Sometimes the scariest things can happen, but it does make it a little scarier knowing, like, here's just another place that we feel unsafe.
Yeah, Maryland State Police are taking the lead on the investigation with the assistance of the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office and the Wicomico County State's Attorney's Office. Well, a Millsboro woman is facing charges following a child abuse investigation at a daycare facility. Last month, Delaware State Police were notified by the Division of Family Services about potential abuse by a staff member at Bright Beginnings Daycare. Now, during the investigation, police learned that on May 31st, 47-year-old Veronica Ayers allegedly struck a 2-year-old child in the face. Her employment was terminated that same day. On July 9th, Ayers turned herself in where she was charged with third-degree child abuse. In Salisbury, a woman is facing charges following a hit-and-run that turned into a police chase. On Thursday evening, deputies from the Wicomico County Sheriff's Department were dispatched to a home on Swan Road for reports of a vehicle hitting a house. When deputies arrived, they saw a vehicle with front-end damage fleeing the scene. The driver, identified as 23-year-old Carly Church, you can see a photo of her on your screen right now, led police on a pursuit where she reportedly rammed her car into a police vehicle. Now, police were eventually able to apprehend her. She was arrested for driving under the influence. Well, the Pioneer Craft Club is getting ready to host its annual August Craft Festival at the Ocean Pines Community Center. The decades-long tradition is reaching its 46th year as a staple of the Ocean Pines community. The Craft Festival will have dozens of vendors selling completely handmade crafts, from sea glass jewelry to pottery and home decor. Organizers say they have lots of returning vendors, but they take a lot of pride in finding new and interesting crafts.
Everything that you might see on TikTok or YouTube and don't have the time to make yourself, you will probably find it at August Craft Fair.
Yeah, the club supports the local community with a portion of their proceeds, and organizers say that Craft Festival coming up on August 3rd is one of their main fundraisers for the year. And at this time, we're going to throw things over to Chief Meteorologist Rich Werdzik. Rich, you've been tracking flooding all day. Are we on the way out of this rainy mess?
Yeah, we're headed in that direction, headed in the right direction, but we've got one more period of heavy rain to talk about through the Saturday time frame before we get into a break from this action. Let's first start with some video. Just wanted to show you here out of Dorchester County earlier today. Flash flood warning that was out for most of the county for a while in the afternoon. This is after the flash flooding was done. Meteorologist Eric Alpha showing all that high standing water across the county. There had numerous reports of washed out roads. Some 911 calls, not just in Dorchester County, but over into Wicomico, of high water and even a couple cars stranded. So that's what it looked like earlier. I expect us to, unfortunately, have a few scenes like that again, maybe tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, as we get in more rounds of rain over some of these waterlogged areas. Check these numbers out. Close to 6 inches of rain. This is 24-hour rain totals. 6 inches in Lewis. Just under 5 out of Milton, about 4.5, same in Quantico. And you can see all the way to Laurel and Cambridge, over 3 inches of rain. In areas that didn't get as much rain, you still have beneficial amounts. where most areas were pushing close to an inch so far. And that chance for a shower or storms can be with us really occasionally through the night and then on and off again for most of tomorrow, at least the first half of tomorrow. I do expect tomorrow afternoon and evening to show some gradual decrease in coverage. But looking at the radar picture, it doesn't look like much is going on right now. We have a couple light showers in Sussex, but you can see these small downpours starting to redevelop in this really tropical type environment, if you will. That's just out ahead of this boundary that's shifted off to the west. And you can see all that rain that's happening in the Outer Banks, Virginia Beach, Norfolk. So you get the idea that there's just a lot of moisture continues to stream off to the north. And it's not like necessarily that batch of rain will reach us, but the continual formation of areas of rain like that will be the case here over the course of tonight and tomorrow. But let's talk about the next heat wave. Then I'm going to track that rain for you in future casts. So what's happening here, this boundary that's been responsible for the drought-busting rains we've had today, the flash flooding, all of that, well, it's going to break down, and as high pressure strengthens again off the coast, Bermuda High, that's going to set us right back up for the next heat wave. This one, although not a long-lasting heat wave, is set to be hotter than the two previous ones. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's get back to the showers and storms here tonight. This is my concern here. You see that kind of funneling effect? We call that training. Heavy rain over the same areas. That'll be the case tomorrow morning through, let's say, midday. And then we'll start to see a gradual weakening of that boundary I showed you, and we'll get into some drier weather by Saturday night. Brazier's Carpet Care dog walking forecast. It's a yellow pall day because there will be breaks in the action. It's just got to check the WMDT weather app, check the radar for your location, because at any given point during the day, if you're not getting rain, somebody close to you probably is. Now, for the weekend, hot and humid on Sunday with an isolated storm possible in the afternoon. That is a very low-end chance for rain. So if you're looking at weekend plans, Sunday looks a lot better. That is going to be a hot and humid day, but nothing like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Highs close to 100. It'll feel like 105 to 110. All right, let's send it back over to Brandon.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Don't go anywhere. A familiar face has been crushing it in the NBA Summer League. More DSI coming after this break.
Hey, my name is E. Alexander Brooks. I'm representing the University of Maryland Eastern Shore men's golf team, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.